Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, this is the episode when we're going to try to get Switzerland down to a subject state. And it's not going to be long now. Then we'll be able to reduce subject payments and get our cash while also getting them fully locked in. And then maybe we can stop. I think we're currently supporting the regime. Yeah, we're supporting the regime, and we can go ahead and... It'll be a while before we'll take that off, but we will take it off eventually. Let me see. Other autonomy reduction targets. Marina Kingdom, they're going down at a reasonable speed. Oranya's actually already below 25. I'm not going to necessarily target these countries. Universal League formed by India. Okay, alright. Okay, India. Dial it back. Yeah, we can still be friends. Let's have a treaty. Let me see. You would like a defensive pact. High chance to do this. Anything you'd be willing to give me? $11.9 million. It's a good chunk. It's a good chunk. Maybe that would weaken them inordinately. Unilateral investment rights would be pleased. On the other hand, what if we take a company monopoly? No. Can't do that. What about Lazio Home Goods? No. Okay. Alright. Can't do that. Can't get silly with it. How about cash? You've got a large economy. Is cash non-scaling? I think the cash thing might be non-scaling. Because, like, this can't be that much of their economy, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like if I don't get something useful, I'm leaving stuff on the table. But again, I don't really want goods transfer. No, I've got opium plantations in my country now. Treaty Port. Nah, they're minus 100 for all of those locations. This is curious. I don't rightly know what to do with this. Minus 52 for investment rights. But if we give that... No, okay. They certainly don't want mutual investment rights. What if... they give me military assistance? 25% chance they say yes. Can we give them military access? They would definitely be happy with that. Because this will reduce my military costs, and that'll be nice. I'm gonna do it. Cool. The Declaration of Turin, and that'll be nice because I've got a large military, and that'll reduce costs, and that'll be nice. French and the Germans are fighting again. Seems like the French and the Germans are always... Oh no, this is the French and the Belgians. Ah, right, because this giganto war. That's funny. Alright, we're working on these power plants. I think they might have... No, power plants still take forever. I was going to say, I think they might have reduced the amount of time power plants take, but I don't actually think so. I think they're 800 still. Which is what it is. It is what it is. Got a lot of bureaucracy to play with. Let's go ahead and increase some of our institutions. I can actually get all these maxed out to the greatest extent possible now. Dealing in arms, event in Lazio. The establishment of munition plants in Lazio ensures an abundant supply of ammunition for Italy. I resent the term arms dealer. It implies that I am more than a cynical profiteer, benefiting from the suffering of my fellow man. Nothing could be further from the truth. What I do guarantees peace and security, not only in Italy, but throughout the civilized world. Suvit pacem para bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. Munitions plant throughput for 5 years. Heck yes. Alright. How are things going? Nearly there. Nearly there. They're at 25. So this should only be a few more weeks until we can increase their, before we can reduce their autonomy. Exile from Rwanda. Alright. That doesn't help me a whole lot. Again, we're not going to establish a new company until we've got Construction 3, because that gives us a snazzy new company to build. Close. So close. So close. How big is their economy? Their economy is pretty large, so we're going to get a pretty substantial cash flow from this. Obviously, Ottoman Empire is going to go up in Liberty Desire, as the rest of our subjects, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. Even Greece, I'm not actually too concerned about. I could stand to build some stuff in Greece. Because I don't think that, yeah, most of what I built in the Ottoman Empire. So what's profitable that I can increase the size of? Yeah, I got some regular industry I can expand in Greece. Nothing too profitable on the agricultural side. I guess Peloponnese is a little bit short on labor. And then what about Attica? Attica, we got some paper mills that work. And there's sulfur mines, that's nice. Lead mines, it's always nice to have some extra mines. Agriculture's all maxed out, so that'll be just fine. Devout scandal. It's been revealed that Bernardo Toesca of the Catholic Church has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. The very fact that this sneaky bastard thought he could get away with such a gross misuse of his power shows there's anything wrong with the leadership of the Catholic Church. Force him to step down, he resigns in shame, or let he who's without sin cast the first stone, he goes down in popularity. Let's force him to step down. See who we get. We got another traditionalist, Gaetano Grafigna. Well, it is what it is. So hoping we would get a non-traditionalist, but 'twas not to be. Alright, here we go. Can decrease the autonomy of Switzerland. Let's go! Not there. Here. Alright, and we'll reduce subject payments. Yeah! Look at that. Nice. So we're getting about 11k per week from Switzerland. That's very, very good. They're now aloof, but their Liberty Desire is going downward at a very, very healthy clip. Again, the thing we want to make sure of is that we don't go... I think I'm actually going to leave these in place just so that this is moving downward very quickly. Because it's one number per 5 weeks, so it'll be 50 weeks for 10. And for the 50 Liberty Desire that we need to clear out, that's just about 5 years. So that'll be fine. More importantly, now we have military access through here, which means we can effectively wage war on the North German Federation. Not that I was going to do that by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, it's nice to be able to know that I can. You know, just to be able to. I'm going to go ahead and throw these engine... Well, actually, there's a lot of these motor industries. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on those motor industries. I think I'll put 5 of them up at the top. And then the others we'll do later. So, Ottoman Empire is in a war with Wallachia. They want to turn Wallachia into a tributary. War goals. Enforce treaty article. So I can get cash from Wallachia. That doesn't seem effective. I can get an obligation. Who else is likely to get involved in this? Serbia is likely to get involved. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a close eye on this. If Serbia gets involved, beautiful. Alright. 11 infamy. I think that's worth. And just to look at it again, Russia's likely to step in. I think I can take the Russians. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And now that I'm doing this, let's improve relations with Serbia a bit. Alright. Beautiful. I'm actually going to do a full mobilization. I'm going to send my main army here, but I'm not going to activate my conscripts just yet. If Russia steps in... Okay. Here we go. Now, I could bring Britain in. They want transfer of Siam. I'm not going to give them Siam, so that's not meaningful. Baltic government... I'm sure Russia's other subjects will step in. So, do I raise my conscripts? Okay, I do have multiple fronts over here, so I need to be conscientious. I think I'm actually going to put my main army over here, the secondary front, and put my other armies at the main front. Now, what I see is the main front. And I think I actually will raise all my conscripts. You know, just to make sure we don't wind up in a situation. Obviously, that's going to cost me a barrel full of cash. And now we're in an election cycle. So, talk to me, election monitor. What's the situation? Petit bourgeoisie have formed the right. The industrialists have bailed out. And now the agrarian party is way up at the top of the polls, which is good. Beautiful, in fact. I think in order to avoid any chicanery... Oh, actually, that's interesting. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until the election. Now, do I raise taxes? This number is really not making me happy, so I'm going to press yes for yes. I'm going to finish out my power plants, and then I'm going to halt government construction. I know I keep saying I'm going to halt government construction. I know that's... I am, as a broken record, saying that I shall halt government construction. Let's send our fleets out. We're going to get these blockading. Oop. That's not the button. That's the naval invasion button. You wouldn't want me to invade a navis. Alright. And that'll at least blockade some. Alright. Armies low organization due to supply shortage. Well, I don't think I can necessarily do anything about that. I got a huge ammo shortage. What are you gonna do? This is what happens when your munitions industries keep downsizing while you're not at war. Let's put them on rotary valve engine so they can hire faster. We'll do the same with our other military buildings. I do have an electric industry. I can't produce radios yet. Steel mills. Do you look better with rotary valve engines? Seems that way. What about you other buildings? Yeah, seems like. Absolutely. Alright, beautiful. We'll just have to bring in the ammo we need to bring in. I do have a high import tariff on ammunition. I could pull that back. Right, I'm not on market price comparison, which I should be. Let's go ahead and remove that so that we can get ammunition in. Anyway, pressing issues. The ongoing election has drawn attention to the platforms of the various contending parties. Across Italy, the electorate debates which party is worth trusting with the next term in government. The first thing I take into account is the safety of my investments. If a party would represent chaos, I may safely discount it. The stockbroker tapped his cigar in the rim of the ashtray and continued. The journalist took notes as he spoke. How will the incoming government's tariff policy affect mine needed imports? Do they wish to impose taxes which may spur uncertainty? Do they wish to embark upon military adventures? Would these adventures be profitable or would they be ruinous? There is much to consider. Options are basically I can give 30% momentum to any of my parties. I'm going to give it to the Agrarian Party. The rural focus served me well so far. Forced comparison here in Wallachia and Serbia seems very good. I'm not at all concerned. There's a little thing going on in Nagpur. I'm going to declare neutrality on that. Everyone else has. India can certainly handle that. I don't know if that would be Nagpur or Nagpur, but I'm not a, I'm no scholar on that topic. Happily, it seems like no one else is stepping in, so I'm going to simply wait, and I think all will be well in this war. I can impose additional war goals if I like. So, for example, I could demand transfer of a Russian subject, like Alaska, which I would like. Italian Alaska would be nice. But can I get cash? Can I get cash money? Now, this is not that big an amount, game. Why are you calling this a bunch of infamy? .3 infamy. I don't... See, war reparations used to be really low infamy. Alright. I guess that's not really going to happen. Can I add a forced nationalization war goal? This will be 7 infamy. I don't want 7 infamy right now. 7 infamy will make me sad. And I don't wish to be sad. Forced comparisons are all looking good. I am raising my conscripts, but what else is new? Countdown to war, and Wallachia backs down. Beautiful. So, and there's my mandate. Wonderful. I didn't get Serbia as a protectorate. I'll continue to improve relations, but Wallachia became a subject of the Ottoman Empire and part of my customs union, which is delightful. They'll be my subject soon once I reduce the Ottoman Empire's autonomy further, which will be nice. So, let's go ahead and snag the United Construction Conglomerate, and we'll form ourselves a United Construction Conglomerate. Where are they? Am I stupid? What's going on here? United Construction Conglomerate requires 5 of any of glassworks, tooling workshops, and steel mills in a single state, which are privately owned or nationally owned or not currently owned by a company. Alright, so I need to grab some steel mills or tooling workshops and nationalize them. Wait, I didn't even look at what the company's ability was. Gah! Their ability is extra construction sector building throughput. That's not that great, to be honest. Alright. So where have I got tooling workshops? We'll nationalize... I can only nationalize 4 levels. Okay. Let's go somewhere where we got more tooling workshops. Steel mills. Let's, nationalize 5 levels. That's going to cost me a barrel full of cash. but it's going to be worth it. And now, I should be able to form the company. Excellent. Now, what can we provide for this company? They have all these industries. Do I want to give them a monopoly over an industry? I don't think so. Well, I can't because I don't have any authority. And monopolies cost authority. That said, they're going to be quite productive, so let's do it. Probably not the greatest use of my money, but it is what it is. Let's drop taxes back to Midland. We spent a lot of cash there, but that's okay. That's really quite okay. We're continuing to build. And now we've got a United Construction Company. Wonderful. I did it. What a success. And hopefully they should be able to use the profits to start building their own, to start buying other industries in the area. Great Britain improving relations. Wonderful. I've completely forgotten where I gave them those things. These are in Lombardy. So, are these steel mills? They are profitable. Okay, now they're... Well, they don't want to hire, but they are quite profitable. Alright, so hopefully that'll be good. The popularity contest. The eyes of the electorate have turned to candidates that seek to acquire a position at the head of government. As the election approaches, voters debate who would provide the best leadership for Italy. I like Graffinia, mused one of the men at the bar. I couldn't say what it is I agree about him, but I think he has a good head on his shoulders. His neighbor spoke up. Enough to look past the company he keeps? Why not? God knows he could say the same of any of us. Nobody's better to handle a fool than his friend. Gaetano Graffinia is a man of the hour. Extra momentum for the conservative Catholics, and he becomes more popular. A term of Umberto Amaretti is what the country needs. Extra momentum for the right. Umberto Amaretti gets extra popularity. Or Acquia Pignatelli is the character for the job. Extra momentum for the Agrarian Party, and he gets more popular. I'm going to do the third one. We'll continue to throw momentum in the direction of the Agrarian Party until we can form a solid government of them. I was going to say, I should have put the Serbian Protectorate at the top, in as a primary, but I wouldn't have been able to. So it looks like France is being properly invaded now, which means this war might be over soon. Let's look and see how bad they've beaten each other up. The French have lost 350,000 killed and about 1 million wounded all told. 700,000 wounded. And the British have taken 150,000 wounded, dead, and 450,000 wounded. Oh, that reminds me. I need to swap over to field hospitals. The better recovery method. Whew. Glad I remembered to do that. That could have been... I've fought a lot of wars using basic first aid only, and it's almost the 20th century, and I need to be doing that properly. Let's grab the rest of the motor industries we were building. That is going to make those steel mills that I just gave to the United Construction Conglomerate more productive. See, now they think they'll be better not using water tube boiler, but I don't think that's true. It's so curious. You boys making money yet? Well, they're doing their best. Profit's a little low. I could subsidize those steel mills in particular. Seems like needless thumb on the scales, but I don't know, man. It's making the company money, because I want to get this company buying more businesses, because that's the thing you want them to do. All right, there's the election. The Agrarian Party wins it by a landslide. I definitely didn't put my thumb on the scales at all. So, if we throw the right out, we can get an 84. Again, we got a traditionalist in there. can't bring in the industrialists. Come bring in the Catholic Church, but they're headed up by a traditionalist as well. So we'll just keep the rural folk in government, and that way nobody will petition us for something we don't desire. Sweats in per capita taxation. It's okay. It'll make it even easier to go to proportional later. It would be better if we were able to get to proportional. They might demand we go to national militia. No one would stop us if we did that. But, you know, I might be happy with national militia, frankly. Frankly, I might be happy with it. Now let me think. What was the other thing I was going to... Oh, I'm once again short on authority. So I'm going to cut another consumption tax. Where is all my authority going? It's the stupid country monopolies. I was thinking about what I could get for my companies, and I didn't realize that was causing me an authority problem. That's making my cash flow awful. But it is what it is. Where are they in Liberty Desire? They're doing all right. It's been better, truth be told, but you know, these things are what they are. Switzerland is still going down in Liberty Desire. I can't even think about reducing Marina Kingdom or more likely Oranje's autonomy until Switzerland is below 65, because I can't let them get above 75 or we get a whole headache. There's workplace safety and law enforcement. That's very good. Our government is quite legitimate. We are supporting Switzerland's regime still at this point. I think we don't need to be doing that any longer. So we'll go ahead and cut regime support. I'm getting 10 points of reduction in weekly liberty desire for this. Ooh. So that's a thing, because that's quite a bit of my downturn, and they are my highest for all my puppets. So I want to keep them low in liberty desire. So I think I'll actually leave it. GDP is continuing to grow. We've hit spot 5 in the list, which means we've passed the USA, which is very, very good. And we're hurtling towards Russia and India. Keeping ahead of India is going to be a difficult but ultimately important proposition. Let's get the industrial expansion in Greece ahead of all the others, ahead of these iron mines. We've built quite a few iron mines, and now it's time to improve the situation in Greece. We'll put these lead mines first because those will build faster, and we'll put a couple of these motor industries ahead just to make the thing more pointlessly complicated. Because what's a modern government for if not to make the economy pointlessly complicated? We do have electricity industries popping up, which is nice. Okay, border crossing. Our soldiers regularly perform maneuvers near the border of Austria. Having the troops parade all over the border as if we're nothing to them could be a useful display of power, especially if we frame it as an accident. A border is just a line drawn on a map. If it isn't guarded or defended, why should an enterprising nation not come along and tweak those borders? An excellent idea. One of the following will happen. Austria will get a border sovereignty question for -5 years, or a diplomatic incident giving 14 autonomy to Italy and reducing our relations with 9 countries, including Austria, Great Britain, Russia, France, North Germany, Occitania, Netherlands, Moldavia, and Montenegro. Or this would be ill-advised, armed forces become salty. You know, I can live with armed forces being salty. My army is huge, but they haven't really been a factor in our politics in a long time. And I don't really want the infamy, so this would be ill-advised. Rural folk petition government. They want racial segregation. I can't counteroffer them that other thing, national militia, which is a shame. I do not want racial segregation. Well, population growth has been steady. I think I can live without it. National Supremacy has been pretty solid. So what would this do? So we have a substantial South German minority. The Catholic South Germans are all in in second-class citizenship, but there are a few that are lower. What other minorities do we have around? Slovenes, they're all, I think they're Catholic, so they're at acceptance 4. Croatians, they're at acceptance 4, which is second-class citizenship. It's very good citizenship. Piedmont, we have some French, they're at second-class citizenship. Savoy, we have some Franco-Provençal people, they're at second-class citizenship. The Occitans here in Sardinia are doing fine at second-class citizenship. Same with the Corsicans are actually at full acceptance. And I don't think there's huge minority populations across the rest of Italy. So what will this do? This will get us a lot of immigration from Europe. At the cost of a little bit more authority, which I don't love. Why are you reducing authority? Because you're compliant. Gosh darn it, you fool! No, I wasn't thinking about that at all. Entrepreneur better so that you get more authority. So that I get more authority. You know what? We'll see what we can do. I think it'd be fine. We're just liberalizing the citizenship a little. Nothing to worry about. Petit bourgeoisie mad. Lose my bureaucracy bonus. Okay. Not ideal. Go ahead and cancel this. And we'll cut... Let's cut law enforcement back. That's going to give us a little bit of a buffer. We still have a few more... We always have more government admin buildings we need to be building anyway. So we'll get more. Lazio... Istria and South Tyrol are recently conquered. But Lazio we can build up another government building in. What are buildings that are kind of on the borderline? Let's actually take a look at that. Because that's really where we want to focus. Russia's improving relations. Oh my goodness, I built up my freaking... my power plants and then forgot to swap my urban center method. So let's go ahead and do that. Electric streetlights. Shazam. So that should make the power plants a little bit more profitable. Some are being privatized. Let's privatize these arts academies. They can be privately owned. Now, let's go to... Okay, actually, I need to be careful because power plants don't produce as much power as they used to. Yeah, so now the urban centers want more power. Alright, that's normal because power plants are starting to build up production. Yeah, and we have electricity shortages. That'll change over time. What was the other thing I was doing? Oh, I never made these publicly traded. Let's do it. No, you're doing better, not worse. That'll teach them. Government admin. I was building up government admin. Whew, it would have been really embarrassing if I'd completely forgotten. Alright, so anywhere that's low, so we'll build one up in Campania, one in Venezia, one in Sicily, one in Sardinia, one in Apulia, and one more in Piedmont, and one more in Lombardy. And all these other places are doing basically fine for taxation capacity. None of them need to be worried about government admin cost. We'll just throw these at the top of the queue to get them done real fast. So fast. And then the thing I was doing was looking at power. So power. Alright, so where are places we need more? We need more in Piedmont. Just to clarify once again, power plants produce 25 power per level at a cost of 5 wood, 5 coal, and 4 engines. Oh, interesting. So they have input resources now. Mutually beneficial. Now that we have more publicly traded companies, you should focus on what comes next. I don't see the problem. What's wrong with more money? You're telling me that if they offered you more, you'd say no? It's not about the money. It's about who's getting more money. The rich get richer, it would appear. This might affect our politics, stronger industrialists and trade unions, or maybe we can use this elsewhere, extra tech progress towards international exchange standards. I'm going to say this might affect our politics. It might make our trade unions stronger, which would be better. Alright, so 25 per level at where they're at. So this is going to be my informer on what my needs are. So 25 per level. With 195, I need 6 levels, so that's 4. 1 more in Sardinia, 1 more in Emilia. Romagna's fine. We'll build up to 6 in Lazio. Umbria's fine. Sicily is fine. Campania needs 1 more. Calabria needs 1 more. Apulia is good to go. Tuscany needs 2 more levels. Lombardy needs 1 more level. We'll do 2 more levels. Venetia needs 1 more. And everywhere else should be just fine. Alright, beautiful. That's not too many power plants. So, where in the queue are those going to go? I think they're going to go at the end of the motor industries that we're building up in Lombardy. Let's get those going. Actually, we're way over the usual episode time, so unfortunately, that is going to be all we've got for this episode. My nerds, I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you on the other side.